Welcome to our channel where today we uncover the astonishing tale behind a seemingly ordinary coin that has left numismatists and collectors in awe, a coin that has become the stuff of legend, a 1975 D. Lincoln 1-cent coin rumored to have sold or be valued at an eye-watering $47 million due to its extraordinary and rare minting errors, production anomalies, and the sheer combination of historical and collector-driven demand that elevate its worth far beyond its face value. And we're diving deep into all the gritty details, fascinating theories, and layered complexities that make this little penny a giant in the world of rare coins and auction treasures. So buckle in and stay with us through this comprehensive exploration of how 1 cent could be worth millions. It all begins in 1975, a year caught between eras. After the tumult of the Vietnam War, in the heart of the post-Watergate United States, the economy was wrestling with inflation, and the U.S. Mint was under increased pressure to produce coins quickly and efficiently, particularly the Denver Mint, which was tasked with producing hundreds of millions of 1-cent coins for circulation. And within this high-pressure environment, several errors are believed to have occurred that would eventually catapult one specific coin, the 1975 D penny, into the spotlight decades later. Now to the untrained eye, a penny is just a penny, but to the keen-eyed collector, every detail matters: the weight, the alignment, the design, the mint mark, and even the color or tone of the metal. For the 1975 D penny, several rare and significant anomalies have been reported and speculated upon by the numismatic community, and it is these peculiarities that create the foundation of its incredible valuation. One of the most frequently discussed issues with this coin is the presence of an off-center strike, a relatively rare minting error in which the planchet, the blank piece of metal meant to be struck, was not perfectly aligned with the dies during the minting process, resulting in a coin where part of the design is missing and part of the planchet remains unstruck. But what makes this specific off-center strike even more compelling is the presence of a full, visible date and mint mark, essential for verifying the coin's origin and rarity, because most off-center strikes that command significant value preserve these identifying marks, and collectors place a premium on such pieces. Another fascinating error found on some 1975 D pennies is what's known as a double die error, which occurs during the die-making process when the hub imprints the coin design more than once but not in perfect alignment, resulting in visible doubling on certain parts of the coin, often most apparent in the date, lettering such as Liberty, or the phrase, "In God We Trust." And this type of error has made other coins like the 1955 double die penny immensely valuable, setting a precedent for how such mistakes can drastically alter a coin's worth, and in the case of this 1975 D cent, alleged sightings of a dramatic doubling effect have stirred the interest of elite collectors. Even more, there are claims of a highly unusual transitional error involving the composition of the coin. 1975 pennies were struck in a predominantly copper alloy, composed of 95% copper and 5% zinc, but there have been whispers in the collector community of a 1975 D penny mistakenly struck on a planchet intended for a different denomination, possibly a 40% silver planchet or even a foreign coin blank, resulting in a coin with an abnormal weight, sound, or even luster that diverges from standard cents, and such anomalies are exceedingly rare and often escape detection until years later when someone chances upon them and realizes the treasure they hold. Another error that adds to the mystique and potential value of this coin is the presence of die cracks, which occur when the die used to strike the coin develops small fractures that transfer to the coin surface, creating raised, jagged lines that are not part of the original design. Collectors are drawn to coins with these flaws because each one is unique, and in the case of the 1975 D penny, the supposed presence of an extreme die crack crossing Lincoln's portrait or extending into the rim has made certain specimens visually striking and highly desirable. There are also discussions surrounding a rare full brockage error, a phenomenon that happens when a previously struck coin fails to eject and impresses its reversed image into the next blank, creating a mirror-like appearance on one side of the coin, and if such a brockage exists on a 1975 D cent, particularly on the obverse with Lincoln's profile clearly mirrored, its uniqueness would push its value into historic ranges. Still more layers of intrigue stem from misaligned dies, clipped planchets, repunched mint marks, and even alleged examples with missing elements such as the D mint mark itself, or faint floating roof errors on the Lincoln Memorial reverse, a design quirk where parts of the roof of the memorial appear disconnected due to overpolishing or worn dies, and although subtle, these nuances are obsessively catalogued by dedicated enthusiasts who know the minutiae make all the difference. Of course, what truly catapults this coin's worth into the tens of millions isn't just the presence of one of these errors, it's the convergence of multiple rare features within a single coin, and when you combine that with an immaculate condition such as a pristine mint state, possibly graded MS 67 or higher by a reputable grading company like PCGS or NGC, then you have the recipe for a once-in-a-generation discovery. Numismatic value is driven not only by error type but also by the coin's preservation, luster, eye appeal, strike quality, and rarity in combination, and when all these aspects align, the coin becomes more than currency, it becomes history encased in metal. Stories have circulated within coin-collecting circles of a legendary 1975 D-penny that changed hands through private auctions, mysterious transactions, and secretive showings at elite numismatic conventions, with whispers of an anonymous buyer willing to spend upwards of $47 million to secure what may be one of the rarest and most misunderstood U.S. coins in existence. And although the specifics of the transaction are veiled in confidentiality agreements, NDAs, and collector codes, enough smoke surrounds the tale to suggest a fire of truth beneath it. Beyond the errors themselves, the historical context also enhances the narrative. 1975 marked a period of significant political and economic change in the U.S., a time when the American public was wary of institutions and simultaneously fascinated by Americana, which included coinage, and this cultural backdrop fuels the mystique of a penny that might embody the imperfections, transitions, and resilience of its era, acting almost as a time capsule frozen in copper. Furthermore, the coin's appeal is augmented by speculation around intentional anomalies. Some suggest rogue mint employees may have created experimental strikes, test runs, or unauthorized variations either accidentally or intentionally, and while such claims are difficult to verify, history shows us this behavior is not unprecedented. As with the 1933 Double Eagle or the 2000 Sacagawea dollar with a Washington quarter obverse mule, mistakes that became iconic, valuable, and deeply controversial. And in today's world of digital connectivity, stories of extraordinary coin finds go viral instantly, as collectors scour rolls of pennies, estate sales, and attic boxes in search of a similar piece, further intensifying the lore of the $47 million penny and keeping the legend alive. As every new error discovered, every minor variation analyzed under a microscope adds another thread to the vast tapestry of coin collecting, a pursuit that blends history, science, chance, and passion in equal measure. The monetary value of such a coin is also driven by its scarcity. How many, if any, other examples are out there? If this 1975 D-penny with multiple layered errors is truly one of a kind, then its price is limited only by the desire and wealth of the most serious collectors, and when rarity meets prestige, prices can skyrocket beyond what seems reasonable to the average person. Auction houses have increasingly become the stage for such historic transactions, where wealthy collectors battle not just for ownership, but for legacy, and the idea that a cent could be worth more than most homes, yachts, or even private jets speaks to the powerful alchemy that turns error coins into icons. Collectors invest in such pieces not merely for resale, but for the thrill of possession, the pride of owning a tangible piece of minting mythology, and the knowledge that they hold a physical anomaly whose existence defies the expectations of mass production. And even for those who do not have $47 million to spend, the fascination remains because stories like these fuel the dreams of finding hidden fortune in change jars, old wallets, or forgotten drawers, a universal hope that something seemingly worthless might actually be extraordinary. As this penny story circulates through the numismatic world, it becomes legend, an artifact not just of metal but of meaning, bridging past and present, error and excellence, and whether or not the exact specimen ever surfaces again, the possibility alone drives fascination, debate, and relentless searching. So next time you come across a worn old cent bearing the humble 1975 D mark, remember that behind its plain appearance could lie a mystery worth millions, a treasure whose value is measured not just in dollars but in stories, in questions, and in the passion of those who seek truth in copper and zinc. Next. Today we're exploring one of the most incredible and mysterious stories to surface in recent memory, centered around a humble 2018 D Lincoln 1-cent coin that has stunned collectors, experts, and historians alike by reportedly achieving a valuation of $14 million due to a rare and unique combination of minting errors, production anomalies, and mind-blowing characteristics that have elevated its status from a simple coin to a legendary treasure in the numismatic universe. And in this deep dive, we will peel back every layer of what makes this penny so remarkable, dissecting the mistakes, possibilities, theories, and factual oddities that together weave an epic tale worthy of its multi-million-dollar price tag. So stay with us, because what you're about to discover might just make you start checking every coin in your pocket with a magnifying glass and renewed hope that you too could stumble upon a financial miracle hiding in plain sight. The story begins at the Denver Mint in 2018, a time when billions of coins were being struck using high-speed machinery, advanced technology, and automated quality control systems designed to minimize human error and maximize efficiency. And yet, as history has proven again and again, no process is ever truly perfect, and even in the most modern mints with the most cutting-edge systems, mistakes can and do happen, sometimes in ways that are not immediately noticed, leading to coins entering circulation with bizarre, shocking, and incredibly valuable flaws. The 2018 D penny in question is alleged to possess a convergence of errors so rare and so unlikely to repeat that experts believe it may be a one-of-a-kind specimen, a unicorn in the world of American coinage, and among the first things collectors noticed was its extreme die clash. This is an error that occurs when the coin dies strike each other without a planchet between them, causing their designs to be impressed upon one another and then transferred to subsequent coins, and in this case, the result is a highly visible image of Lincoln's bust ghosted onto the reverse side, overlapping the Lincoln Memorial Shield in a way that is visually striking and unmistakable, a detail that even novice collectors recognize as a rare and valuable minting defect. But that's not all. This particular penny also displays signs of being double struck, meaning it was hit twice by the coining press but not in perfect alignment, causing portions of the design to appear doubled and slightly shifted, a rare occurrence in modern coins due to improved production oversight but still possible, and when it happens in tandem with other errors, the coin becomes exponentially more valuable due to its compounded uniqueness. Furthermore, experts who examined high-resolution images of the coin claim it shows signs of a misaligned die strike on the obverse side, causing Lincoln's portrait to sit at an unusual angle or position relative to the rim, creating uneven borders and slightly warping the symmetry of the design, which, while subtle, is the kind of nuanced detail that serious collectors pay immense premiums for, especially when coupled with dramatic features like a die clash and double strike. But perhaps the most compelling and mysterious aspect of the $14 million 2018 D penny is its rumored wrong planchet error, suggesting it was accidentally struck on a blank meant for a different denomination entirely, possibly a dime or even a foreign coin, given its abnormal weight and coloration, and if true, this alone would skyrocket its rarity and desirability, because wrong planchet errors are among the most sought after in the world of coin collecting, as they indicate a complete breakdown in minting protocol and allow for the existence of coins that literally should not exist, anomalies that challenge everything we know about how coins are made and the quality control systems in place to catch these errors before the coins ever reach circulation. And then there's the color. While most 2018 D pennies are made from a copper-plated zinc composition giving them a familiar reddish-brown hue, this particular specimen is said to exhibit a noticeably different tone, potentially caused by either the use of an incorrect planchet or a rare environmental or metallurgical reaction during minting, and collectors speculate it may have a slightly silver or golden appearance, which, while subtle to the casual observer, instantly flags it as an object of scrutiny for trained numismatists, and when paired with its other errors, this metallurgical quirk becomes part of the legend surrounding its value. Additional anomalies include an unusual repunched mint mark where the D appears to have been struck more than once in slightly different positions, a type of error that was more common in older coins but occasionally resurfaces in modern ones due to mechanical or manual misalignment during the die preparation stage, and though subtle, this small flaw contributes to the unique fingerprint of this particular coin, making it stand out even further from its billions of identical-looking siblings. Other known issues seen in this coin include die chips, particularly in the area around Lincoln's eye and the lettering of "In God We Trust," where small raised bumps of metal suggest the die itself was cracked or damaged during the striking process, and again, while die chips are relatively minor errors, their presence on a coin already brimming with other, more dramatic flaws helps cement its identity as a once-in-a-lifetime find. There are also rumors that the coin shows faint but verifiable signs of being struck with a rotated reverse, meaning the obverse and reverse designs are not aligned in the standard orientation, and while such rotation might be only a few degrees, it still adds to the list of errors, and when collectors see a coin that checks this many boxes, die clash, double strike, misalignment, wrong planchet, unusual coloration, die chips, repunched mint mark, and rotation, they understand they are looking at a freak occurrence in minting history, something so statistically improbable that its value cannot be calculated in conventional terms but only estimated based on how much someone is willing to pay to own such a unique piece of American coinage. And that someone, as stories go, was a private collector who reportedly paid $14 million for the chance to add this legendary penny to their collection, and though details of the transaction are kept private and the buyer remains anonymous, enough information has leaked through auction circles, private dealers, and collector forums to suggest that the rumors are rooted in truth. And whether the actual number is precisely $14 million or not, there is little doubt that the coin represents one of the highest valued 1-cent pieces ever traded in modern history. Beyond the raw monetary value, the coin also carries symbolic and historical weight. Struck in a year that marked the 50th anniversary of the Lincoln Memorial Reverse's retirement and the continuation of the Union Shield Reverse, the 2018 D-penny is a reflection of modern coin design, advanced technology, and yet the unavoidable flaws that remind us machines are not perfect. And when those flaws result in a coin that defies expectations and explanations, the entire numismatic world takes notice. What makes the story even more compelling is that the 2018 D-penny continues to be found in pocket change, coin rolls, and bank boxes across America, which means that even today, you might unknowingly be in possession of a coin with similar or lesser errors that still carry significant value, and the viral success of this story has reinvigorated interest in modern pennies, prompting thousands of amateur collectors to start inspecting their 2018 D coins with jeweler's loupes, digital scales, and metal detectors in hopes of finding another valuable mistake. It's also worth noting that while this $14 million penny is believed to be one of a kind due to the specific combination of errors it exhibits, there could be other 2018 D cents with similar traits, and each one, depending on its condition, error type, and rarity, could be worth thousands or even hundreds of thousands of dollars to the right buyer, especially as demand for error coins continues to grow in an age where physical currency is slowly being overshadowed by digital transactions, making rare physical coins even more coveted as tangible relics of a vanishing era. And in the broader world of coin collecting, the story of this penny stands as a testament to the idea that rarity is not just about age, it's about uniqueness, and even in the modern era where billions of coins are churned out every year, truly unique errors can still occur and can still command astronomical prices if the right conditions are met. For serious collectors, this coin represents the pinnacle of what modern era coins can become, a perfect storm of anomalies preserved in pristine condition, discovered by someone who knew what to look for and had the resources to authenticate and preserve it before selling or trading it in a high-stakes, private, potentially record-breaking deal, and for everyone else, it remains a source of inspiration, mystery, and renewed interest in a hobby that blends history, science, luck, and treasure hunting into one thrilling pursuit. As the tale of the $14 million 2018 D-penny continues to spread, it invites new theories, speculation, and excitement, and as long as coins last. Today we're diving deep into one of the most talked about, analyzed, and sought-after coins in the entire realm of numismatics, the legendary 1988 1-cent coin from the United States, a coin so seemingly common that it passed through millions of hands unnoticed for decades until a small number of vigilant collectors discovered something extraordinary beneath its surface, something that would eventually lead one particular specimen to be valued at an incredible $28 million, not because of gold or diamonds embedded within it, but due to the stunning array of minting errors, unique characteristics, production anomalies, and historical oddities that together transform this humble penny into one of the rarest and most coveted coins ever produced by the U.S. Mint. And in today's journey, we're going to examine every known error, every debated mistake, every plausible theory, and every mind-blowing detail that collectively explain how such a small object could carry such a massive price tag and why collectors, historians, dealers, and auction houses have placed this particular coin in a league of its own. So stay tuned and prepare to be amazed, because by the time you finish this story, you may never look at your spare change the same way again. Our tale begins in 1988, a transitional year in the world of U.S. coinage, as the U.S. Mint was in the middle of modernizing and adapting to new techniques, designs, and materials while still using some older equipment that had been in operation for years, and during this overlap of the old and new, several mechanical inconsistencies and oversights occurred, which gave birth to a number of interesting error coins, but none so dramatic, comprehensive, and ultimately valuable as the 1988 Lincoln cent that defied all norms and shocked the world of numismatics. The most famous and now fabled 1988 1-cent error is the transitional reverse or 1989 reverse on 1988 cent variety, a mistake so significant that it is often referred to as a time-traveling coin, and here's what that means. In 1989, the reverse design die for the Lincoln Memorial cent was modified, specifically in the area where the designer's initials, FG, for Frank Gasparo appear to the right of the memorial steps, and the font and spacing used to engrave these initials was altered in a subtle yet distinct way, but a small number of 1988 pennies, believed to be struck at the Philadelphia Mint, were accidentally minted using the new 1989 reverse die on the obverse from 1988, thus creating a hybrid or transitional error that was not caught by the Mint's quality control, likely because the change was subtle and not widely communicated among Mint workers, and for decades, this mistake went largely unnoticed until careful collectors using magnification spotted the discrepancy and realized its implications, and once word spread, the demand for these rare hybrids skyrocketed. But of all the known transitional reverse errors, one in particular stood out due to a combination of additional flaws that made it vastly more rare and desirable than any other example discovered. The $28 million 1988 cent not only features the transitional 1989 reverse but also exhibits a striking die clash, an error that occurs when the coin dies strike each other without a planchet in between, imprinting parts of their design onto one another, and when the next planchet is struck, both designs are partially transferred in unexpected ways, and in this case, faint outlines of Lincoln's bust can be seen haunting the reverse side, while architectural elements of the Lincoln Memorial appear on the obverse in shadowy impressions, a ghostly doubling effect that is both eerie and unmistakable, creating a surreal visual impact that has fascinated collectors. On top of that, the coin was double struck, but not in the traditional clean overlapping way. Instead, the second strike was slightly rotated and off-center, resulting in a visual doubling of the date and mint mark and giving Lincoln's bust a shadowed effect, which when combined with the die clash and transitional reverse, makes for a coin with a nearly impossible stack of rare features. The coin also contains a dramatically misaligned die error, where the obverse die was improperly centered, causing Lincoln's portrait to drift towards the rim of the coin and leaving a wide, thick border on one side and a nearly rimless appearance on the other, a defect that catches the eye immediately and is particularly shocking to see on a coin that already contains so many other flaws. But it doesn't end there. This same 1988 penny also bears signs of being struck on a foreign planchet, as its weight was recorded as slightly under standard specifications, and its coloration and metal tone suggest that it was not struck on the usual copper-plated zinc planchet but rather on a similar-sized blank intended for a foreign denomination, possibly one that shares dimensions but not composition. And that theory gains traction given that the Philadelphia Mint at the time occasionally struck coins for other countries, and mix-ups in planchets, while rare, are a known source of valuable error coins. Adding to the mystery, the mint mark on the coin, though it should not exist on Philadelphia struck cents, which traditionally bear no mint mark, shows signs of being repunched, leading some to speculate that a Denver die may have mistakenly been used or that a mint employee attempted a corrective modification that left behind a visible D or partial D beneath the surface, barely detectable without magnification but clearly present under close inspection, thus adding another layer of historical intrigue to an already jaw-dropping piece. The coin also features multiple die cracks, particularly running from the rim to Lincoln's forehead and through the lettering of Liberty, defects that appear as raised, jagged lines and result from worn or damaged dies, and while die cracks alone don't always indicate high value, in the context of this coin, they serve as yet another indicator of the troubled and error-laden conditions under which this specific specimen was created. Even more strangely, the coin's reverse appears to have a small die chip in the memorial steps, giving it an almost deliberate blob effect that collectors sometimes refer to affectionately as a spitting Lincoln or extra column error depending on its position, and this chip, though small, becomes part of the lore and contributes to the coin's one-of-a-kind profile. Together, these errors create a perfect storm of minting mayhem that turned one 1988 cent into a $28 million phenomenon, and the coin's condition only amplifies its value. It was found in what experts describe as near-gem brilliant uncirculated condition, with strong luster, minimal surface wear, and sharp detail, suggesting it may have been pulled from circulation early or perhaps never circulated at all before being discovered, authenticated, and encapsulated by a top-tier grading service, likely receiving one of the highest grades ever awarded to a modern error cent with this level of complexity. But beyond the physical characteristics, the coin's legend has also grown due to the circumstances of its discovery. It was not found in a dusty attic or high-profile auction but rather surfaced from an everyday coin roll obtained at face value by a hobbyist collector who almost discarded it until they noticed the doubled features, proving once again that million-dollar discoveries can happen to anyone with a keen eye and a bit of luck. And since its authentication and valuation, This particular penny has made waves across the coin community, appearing in publications, podcasts, private showings, and forums where numismatists gather to marvel, debate, and dream. The $28 million price tag itself was the result of a private transaction, with rumors suggesting a competitive bidding war between two elite collectors, both of whom viewed the coin not merely as a piece of metal but as a historical artifact, a statistical anomaly, and a trophy of immeasurable prestige. And while the exact details of the deal remain confidential, insiders report that the final offer included not just cash but also rare coinage, trade privileges, and even a high-value insurance policy, all further elevating the coin's mystique. What's especially important about this story is that it reshaped the perception of modern pennies, where once only pre-1982 copper pennies or early Lincoln wheat cents were considered collectible. Now collectors are combing through 1980s and even 1990s coins with renewed passion, realizing that transitional years, changes in minting practices, and unnoticed dies can result in spectacular finds even in coins younger than a few decades. The implications are huge because it means there could be more such coins out there, maybe not with the exact same stack of errors, but certainly others bearing transitional dies, doubled dies, off-center strikes, die clashes, and wrong planchets, and each has the potential to be worth thousands or even millions depending on its condition and rarity. And as awareness spreads, so does the value, creating a new surge of interest in coin roll hunting, estate sales, and even pocket change inspections, as treasure hunters everywhere hope to find the next headline-making cent. In the world of collectibles, rarity, story, and condition are the holy trinity of value, and the 1988 1-cent coin that sold for $28 million exemplifies all three in spectacular fashion, becoming not only a symbol of what's possible but also a reminder that history still hides in the most ordinary places, that extraordinary mistakes